Hey, thanks for clicking on one of our videos. If you're a Baylor fan, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to join us for a live stream soon. This is Please Bear With Me. Enjoy.
No one really knows how to handle 18, 20 team conference. And what does that look like from a money? How do you split up money? How do you travel? What about these other sports? I almost feel like we all are waiting for men's and women's basketball and football to break away from the NCAA to form these conferences and regional groupings that make more sense on a national level than, having volleyball travel from Spokane, Washington, all the way over to, whatever team, the Rutgers on a Tuesday night. It just doesn't make much sense.
And it's funny, you mentioned it. That's a really good point that I'd never heard of, Scotty, is that the 18, 20 team conferences, every basketball coach I talked to this year calling games, I mean, every one of the Big 12 would at one point or another complain about 20 games in conference is too much. You don't have a chance to breathe. The players don't have a chance to have one night where they can rest besides being traveling or maybe a day to practice. And the Big 12 is a juggernaut too. So it's tough to have that many games with that many teams. Like, how do you do it? What is the recipe for success?
Yeah, and I like, Terrance, that you mentioned regional games, and that just makes too much. Like, the biggest loss of conference realignment has been regional rivalries. Like, and we know that. Like, that's in every school. I think almost every school has been affected by this across the country. Like, I was talking smack 5 minutes ago. I hate that Baylor doesn't play Texas A&M in football or men's basketball anymore. I hate that. Like, we should be playing them every season in basketball. We should be. Because for 8 decades, that was a every season game that people got fired up for, especially here in Waco. People would love to beat Texas A&M in basketball. Like, we should be doing that. And if you limit the conference slate, as you're saying, in some of those sports, you can do more of that. And again, Baylor and A&M have faced off in some of the smaller sports since conference realignment. But yeah, we should be playing them every 5 years in football. We should play them I think every season in basketball. We should do a home, like,
that's one thing that everybody talks about, is that to a man, we can all agree, or woman, that the rivalries are important. And like, the more we can get those regional rivalries back together or sustain what we can, like BYU and Utah in the Big 12, like, that was killer this year. People were super excited about that. And we need more of that. Like, you can ask young, you can ask old. Like, I'll talk to King McClure and talk to Fran Fraschilla, and it's all the same. We got to keep the rivalries together. Is that something you agree with, Terrance?
Absolutely. I mean, I love it. When you talked a little bit earlier about just the conference or the schools in the Big 12 that are doing well, look at Texas Tech in the last 5 years. They're probably a top 5 athletic program. I mean, they've been to the Final Four. They have All-Americans in track. I mean, they are doing a really good job with their athletic program. And when you talk about them maybe leaving or someone else leaving, us not playing Texas Tech or TCU or A&M all 90 minutes away from each other, it doesn't make much sense at all. And I'm telling you, there's a couple of games every year that are circled because your best friend went to that school over Baylor, the school you chose, and you want to show them up. I mean, you got everyone coming to the game. Your grandma that don't go to games, she's at the game. Everyone is tuned in because they want to see 2 high school kids that play basketball in the front yard, since 5 years old, go at it against each other. And I think you lose that, especially when there's so many athletes that stay in Texas, and we can keep those rivalries alive and healthy. I don't know if playing A&M in basketball does us any justice because we're just going to spank them every year. But football would be a really good thing, and it's so easy to schedule. It'd be easy to schedule it because of it's out of conference. Like, just put it on the schedule. It doesn't change anything. Well, but I think A&M is scared. There's 2 teams cannot stand. I think they're great schools, TCU and Tech. And I love the fact that they're both in the Big 12 because they make for really, really fun rivalries. And I never thought, Scotty, you were watching Baylor long before I was. I didn't become a Baylor fan until 2009 when I stepped on campus. But when I look at rivalries and being very similar programs, I always looked at Baylor and Tech and Baylor and TC very similar programs. I never really considered Texas, Oklahoma, and A&M a rivalry. Now, I got up for those games. I was ready to play them because somebody's got to knock them off. But I never truly considered them rivalries because, you beat somebody 20 times out of 20 times. Like, that's just that's a bully. Yeah. So it wasn't a rivalry for me. And but Texas Tech and TCU are always fun games for me.
Listen, there's a lot of validity to what you're saying, and I think everybody knows TCU is the natural rival. Like the schools are too similar, private, Christian origin in their founding, great football highs over the past 2 decades. Like there's a lot of similarities. But Terrance, I will tell you, growing up in Waco, when I was a kid and TCU was not in the conference, we did not hate anyone more than A&M. And it was mostly the attitude stuff. Like, they walk around as if they're UT, except again, they don't have the championships to back it up. Like, they strut around like they've earned something, and they've always been little sister to the Texas Longhorns. And the other thing that would drive me crazy, even in middle school and high school, is all the A&M people at your high school would say, like, oh, we don't care about Baylor. Oh, we don't even care. We don't even care that we play you guys. We only hate Texas. But they talked more crap to you than they talked to anyone else. And I vividly remember, Terrance, and I looked up the news story about this like 3 months ago because I was like, is my memory correct? And it was. A&M played a game in the Farrell Center like the late 2000s, like 08, 09, somewhere in there. And I was there. And Baylor was favored. Scott Drew was starting to get the wheels going on that program. And A&M came into the Farrell Center and like beat us. I think Donald Sloan might have been on that team, and Chris Middleton might have even been on that team. I don't remember. It was that era of A&M basketball, right? They came in and beat the brakes off of us. And there was a technical in the final minute, and a bunch of Baylor fans started throwing bottles and crap on the court, and they had to like stop the game and clear the court. And it was like this big thing. And so then they come out, A&M's up by like 10. They get the ball back. Shot clock is turned off. And this dude runs down the court. Nobody's playing defense. Throws an alley-oop to himself off the glass and tomahawk jams it, just to give like a big FU to the Baylor fans. And everyone starts throwing crap and hitting players, and they had to get like rushed off the court with police. And that's the kind of crap where people are like, no, A&M and Baylor never had a rivalry. I'm like, it's not a premier rivalry, but those two schools, there was no love lost. Like, there was plenty of vitriol to go around.